Hi everyone, I'm here with Spencer and she agreed to let me interview her, so this is going to be really awesome and I'm so excited. So I'm totally about positive thinking and dealing with negative thoughts and just negative things by thinking positively, but there is a huge difference between just being positive and being able to positively think your way out of a situation that is difficult versus anxiety and depression. And so I'm going to talk to Spencer a little bit about that and just let her share her heart and just some things that she's dealt with to hopefully just give a voice to some of you that are watching and have struggled with it as well. So Spencer, in your opinion, what is the difference between just having a bad day, being stressed out, versus truly dealing with depression and anxiety?
I would say the length of it has something to do with it. So, I was depressed for years. Mine is very hereditary. I got it from my mom's side of the family. So I don't really remember a time where I wasn't depressed. But being mostly out of it now, I can see and look back and see a big difference. But being stressed out and having a bad day, is something you can get over with positive thinking pretty easily. But then there's anxiety and depression, and that's a lot more serious. And you can think as hard as you can and say a lot of good things to yourself, but sometimes you won't believe them. A lot of the time, you won't believe them. So just the severity, I guess, is the biggest difference. Really, it's been kind of every facet of my life. I was always depressed, but it really affected me in high school. So just hanging out with friends, being social, emotional, I really did not like myself for a long time. Um, and it almost became normal, which is strange. You're not supposed to hate yourself, but I did for so long that it was just normal to me. And other people weren't like that, and that was hard for me to understand too. And when I tried to share that with other people, especially being in high school, people didn't really understand. That's hard too, which made everything worse. And you try to share that part of your life with people, and they kind of are like, "Whoa," and that's hard too. And I understand that now, but back when I was like, "Why doesn't anybody understand me?" Because it's hard. Um, and then physical, oh my gosh, whenever I get really anxious, I get sick to my stomach. Like I physically throw up and things like that. I've passed out before because I was so anxious. I don't know. Whenever I'm depressed, I stop eating. I sleep way too much, constantly sleeping. I either don't sleep or I sleep too much. I get shaky too, and it just feels like this knot in my stomach and really tight in my chest. So I don't know, it's pretty much everything. It all has to do with how you talk to yourself. Positivity is massive, and that's a really hard thing for me because, I can feel myself slipping, but it's hard sometimes to feel that slip, and then I'm just there, and it's like, how did I get here? But then when I look back, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. There's coping mechanisms too that I've learned throughout my journey, I suppose. Writing is a huge one. I stopped writing for a while, and then I picked it back up again, and I realized how big of a help that is, just getting everything out of your head and onto paper. You don't even have to read it once you write it, just tear it up and throw it away. It doesn't matter, as long as it's out of your head, it helps so much. Reading too is an escapism thing, which is good. Most of the time, if you're reading all the time and missing out on life, that can be a problem, but just giving your brain a break. And the number one thing you have to do is be patient with yourself and not expect yourself to be perfect all the time, because you're mentally ill and that is okay. And that's something that I've had a lot of trouble with because, the first time I went to a hospital, I kind of came out and I was like, okay, I'm fixed now. It's like, no, that's not how it is. You still have a lot of work to do, and still I work a lot on it. I am so much better than I was way back when, but it's still, I have to remind myself to take care of myself and to sleep, because I know what happens when I don't. And um, but maintaining joy has become a lot easier. As long as I take care of myself, it comes naturally. I can find joy in walking to class. It was a beautiful day last week, and I really enjoyed walking to class. And it's just the little things that you have to remind yourself are nice. So. If there is someone in their lives that is trustworthy and important, and I'm not talking about teenage friends because they don't know what to do, because I did that and they didn't know what to do, and that there's nothing wrong with that. They can be a great resource, but don't expect them to save you. If you have the parents to talk to, if you don't, maybe you can talk to a counselor at your school or somebody that can get you resources that you need, because you cannot do it alone. That's something that was really hard for me to learn, because I take pride in things that I do myself, and it's terrifying to ask for help, and it's almost embarrassing to have thoughts like that, because you feel like nobody else does, but people get depressed. That's a thing that happens in life, and it's normal. People have moods that go up and down, and that's an okay thing.
I think that's the biggest thing is, when we think there's something wrong with us, we're not going to reach out. And then even when we try to, if we reach out to the wrong people, it actually causes more harm. Mm-hmm. Which then leads into our next question of, I know there are a lot of people who have great intentions, who try to give advice to somebody who's dealing with anxiety and depression, mm-hmm. but since they don't always understand the difference of, they can't, just feel better. It's really not that bad. You're overreacting. Mm-hmm. What would you say to somebody who doesn't understand it, who's either trying to help somebody deal with it or trying to deal with themselves, of what is helpful mm-hmm. and what is actually more harmful?
Mm-hmm. What you just said, the whole, being really flippant and like, oh, just stop being sad. It's like, if I could, I would. Really, from a personal standpoint, if you're talking to yourself, be patient with yourself, because it's not going to happen overnight. And it's normal to feel, or it's not normal, I would say, but it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling, because, feelings are valid. Just because you have them, it means something. It's not, you're not having that feeling just because. And that's okay. That's the whole thing. It's okay. And the validity thing. If you're talking to someone, or if someone comes to you and says that they're feeling, really down and they are wanting to hurt themselves, don't put them off. Make them feel heard. That's the number one thing, is make them feel heard and make them feel valid, because, as soon as they're put off, they're like, okay, well, that didn't help at all, and they may have tried to reach out to help, or for help, and you just kind of shut them down. And there's, you're not a bad person for doing that if you do that, because people don't know, and that's kind of why we're doing this video, is to educate people a little bit. So validity, I would say, is the number one thing. And then from a personal standpoint, just understand, or try to understand, that it's okay that you're feeling the way you're feeling, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's okay.
So that was the last of my questions, but I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you and just how proud I am of you. Just the level of wisdom you show at such a young age. And I think that goes to just me watching you and knowing the struggle that you've gone through yourself, and then to sit next to you today and just hear you speak from such a strength and an inner power and an inner voice of knowing that this wasn't all for nothing. Like, you are now in a place where you can speak life into the lives of others, and you can be the voice that says, you're not alone, you're okay, there is hope and there is help. And so I appreciate you so much, because I didn't go through everything you've gone through. I've gone through other stuff, but because of what you have specifically gone through, you have a certain voice to reach certain people that I could never reach. And so I'm just so very thankful for you, and I'm so very proud of you. And I think that you have an amazing future ahead of you, whatever you choose. And this world needs you. They need people like you to be strong enough to stand up and say the hard things, and to make things known that other people are unaware of. And so I think this is really going to reach out to a lot of people, especially people in your generation who don't always know what to do or just isolate. And so what you've said, I think, is so powerful. And I'm just so excited. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to